Can a tiny remote and a simple exposure test reveal which camera is actually smarter? Let's find out. At first, test the +3 EV exposure setting and see how it performs in both video and photo mode. We'll start with video. Right now, I'm using the remote controller to adjust the camera settings. So far, it feels pretty intuitive to use. However, there's one limitation. I can't swipe to access the full settings menu on the small remote screen. I can change basic video settings, but I can't open the complete video menu. For example, I can turn white balance on or off and switch it back to manual mode, but that's about it. The LUNA Ultra, on the other hand, uses its own built-in screen, so you have full access to every setting directly on the camera. The small remote doesn't offer the same functionality, so in this area, LUNA clearly has the advantage. Now both cameras are back to 4K 60 frames per second with auto exposure enabled. I'll walk through the scenes so you can see how the exposure adjusts. Am I still in frame? Right now I'm standing in the shade, and everything is being captured using full auto settings. As you can see, I'm shooting entirely in auto mode because I think that's how most people will actually use these cameras. Manual mode isn't very meaningful for this particular test. Next, let's take some photos. This is where I really started to appreciate the remote. You know how many people who love taking selfies carry a tiny Bluetooth shutter remote? My mom is one of them. She loves posing before taking a picture. Now you can probably see why a remote like this is so useful. Honestly, DJI and LUNA might have found a whole new audience. People who love traveling and taking photos, especially those who enjoy group shots and selfies. For the next test, yesterday evening at the concert, I used both of these cameras side by side to capture the same scenes for comparison. My main goal was to test their 3x optical zoom, 6x digital zoom, and 12x digital zoom, and I also took a series of photos with both cameras. I'll show you all of the original footage so you can clearly see the differences between these two cameras. I started with 3x zoom, and at this focal length, both cameras performed extremely well. They were both able to track the subject automatically without any issues. Next, I switched to 6x zoom. Here, I noticed something interesting. The LUNA's exposure was actually a little darker than the DJI. This was surprising because in all of my previous tests, the LUNA had always been brighter. This time, the result was the opposite. If you look closely at 6x zoom, you'll also notice that the LUNA's subject tracking has a slight amount of shaking and jitter, while the DJI remains much more stable. As the test continues, you can see the LUNA begin to shake again. After that, I manually zoomed all the way to 12x. Since I was holding both cameras by myself, I had to adjust them one at a time. At 12x zoom, the LUNA still produced a slightly darker exposure than the DJI. At this point, I also needed to manually confirm the focus. The LUNA made a few extra adjustments and shook slightly while trying to lock onto the subject. Once both cameras reached 12x, they each searched for the subject again. In the end, both successfully found the performer, but the DJI remained noticeably steadier. The LUNA made several larger corrections before settling. Now, look at the image on the bottom. This is a photo I took with the iPhone 17, which serves as a reference for the actual colors at the concert. The video on the top was recorded with the DJI, while the bottom image is the iPhone 17 photo. Now we've switched to the LUNA. Again, the bottom image is the iPhone 17 photo, while the top shows the DJI recording at 12x zoom. This clip was recorded with the LUNA. You'll notice that the person's skin tone looks noticeably warmer and more flattering. For this test, I intentionally placed many complicated foreground objects in front of the performer. Even at 12x zoom, neither camera lost track of the subject because of the busy foreground. That's actually very impressive. Both cameras tracked the subject accurately. Now pay attention when the lighting and composition become much more complicated. The DJI starts lowering its exposure, while the LUNA identifies the subject and automatically brightens the image. However, in terms of overall tracking performance, the LUNA occasionally shows small shakes, while the DJI remains considerably more stable. Take a look at this scene. In this composition, the DJI produces richer colors with stronger saturation and more depth. Compared to the Luna, the image looks fuller and more solid, while the Luna appears slightly thinner and flatter. Now, watch what happens when the subject is completely blocked by the foreground. Both cameras can still identify who the main subject is. However, while the performer is moving, you'll notice the Luna making several aggressive tracking corrections, whereas the DJI follows the subject much more smoothly. This part really surprised me. Even with such heavy foreground obstruction, neither camera completely lost the subject. I think that's an excellent result. Now, however, the Luna finally loses the subject. During another song with even more complicated lighting and colorful curved stage effects, both cameras still performed quite well. This section starts at 3x zoom, and then I push in to 6x. Both cameras continue tracking successfully. Watch this part carefully. When the subject becomes heavily blocked by the foreground, both cameras actively try to reacquire the subject on their own, which is actually pretty impressive. The DJI transitions smoothly, while the Luna gives the impression of, I lost the subject, now let me find it again. Now let's move on to the photos. These are two photos I captured during the concert. Once again, both cameras show the same characteristics I've observed throughout my previous tests. Whenever the Luna detects a face, or even thinks it has detected a face, it tends to intentionally brighten the exposure, often making the image look slightly overexposed. So the image on the top is the DJI with balanced exposure, while the image on the bottom is the Luna, which prefers a brighter, slightly overexposed look. These are both captured at the camera's maximum photo resolution. Now, this next comparison is quite interesting. The DJI allows digital zoom in photo mode, reaching 6x and up to 9x, while the Luna only supports 1x and 3x optical zoom for still photos. So here you're looking at a comparison between 9x on the DJI and 3x on the Luna. Here's another comparison. I took maximum resolution photos using 3x zoom on both the DJI and the Luna. Then I compared the DJI's 6x digital zoom photo with the Luna's 3x optical photo. Overall, when it comes to photography, I think the DJI has a slight advantage. I also chose a scene with much more challenging lighting to compare their color reproduction. Pay close attention here. The camera that tends to overexpose still continues to overexpose. If you look at the red lights, you'll notice they're already beginning to bloom slightly. That said, both cameras still do a good job controlling overall color and exposure. However, under lighting this complicated, both cameras ran into another issue. I could no longer manually adjust focus. This is also where I noticed a difference in the user interface. With the Luna, I could zoom using one hand while operating the remote's directional controls at the same time. That said, the remote's directional pad is much harder to use than DJI's. On the DJI, while zooming, I had to use my other hand to press two small buttons just to access the zoom controls. That was also quite inconvenient. Throughout the concert, I constantly found myself struggling to adjust zoom and composition with both cameras. Neither was particularly easy to operate in this situation. However, once focus was locked, both cameras delivered very similar overall performance. The main visible difference remained their color reproduction. Despite people constantly walking across the foreground and all the changing stage lights, neither camera lost focus. That's genuinely impressive. Both cameras handled this situation extremely well. This song featured a large number of laser effects. I was honestly taking a risk by exposing both cameras' CMOS sensors to the lasers just to capture this test. For this scene, I set both cameras to manual white balance at 6,400 Kelvin. Notice something interesting. As soon as I switch the Luna to manual white balance, the image immediately turns red. This is exactly the same behavior I observed in my previous plaster statue test. Under automatic exposure and automatic white balance, the Luna usually looks smoother and slightly richer than the DJI. However, once I switch to manual settings, it becomes too warm and overly red. You can clearly see that the light beams now appear red, even though in reality, they were actually closer to white,
with a slight cyan tint. Now watch what happens when the performer is heavily blocked by the foreground. The DJI successfully keeps tracking the subject. The Luna loses the person completely and then aggressively searches again. At this point, I manually adjusted the framing myself. Once the Luna found the subject again, it continued tracking without any further problems. Here, I'm manually adjusting the composition again. Now I've zoomed in to 12 times.
Overall, I think that at 12 times zoom, the DJI produces slightly sharper footage than the Luna. Perhaps because the Luna tends to overexpose more often, its perceived sharpness is reduced slightly. During this test, I also noticed another small detail. When the scene becomes extremely dark, the Luna automatically activates low light mode, and it warns that the camera body may become hot. After about 20 minutes of recording, the Luna displayed an overheating warning. On the DJI, however, you have to manually switch into night mode. The downside is that in night mode, you can no longer use the zoom rocker for smooth zooming. Because of that limitation, I spent most of the concert shooting in standard mode instead of night mode. However, when it comes to overall image quality at 12 times zoom, I'd say both cameras are just acceptable, not outstanding, but they're still significantly better than the iPhone's telephoto camera. So that's how both cameras performed at 3 times, 6 times, and 12 times zoom during a real concert. I won't make a final judgment here. Even though I've repeatedly pointed out that one camera's subject tracking wasn't as good, I also want to apologize to the engineers behind both cameras. To be honest, I don't think the engineers ever expected someone to test 12 times subject tracking in an environment this extreme. Very few people would actually use these cameras this way, especially under lighting conditions this complicated. I think this test was incredibly demanding. Anyway, the concert test is now complete. What would you like to see me test next?